Hello and welcome to your Yoga Pilates Fusion for intermediate, so in between beginner and advanced. Let's go ahead and start laying down on our back. Hug the knees into the chest. Give yourself a nice little hug. We're going to go ahead and take that left foot, plant it down on the floor, wrap that right arm around that left leg. Now really squeeze the inner thighs together. Think about eagle pose with our legs. We're going to take our right arm and we're going to wrap it underneath our left. Now maybe you can get a full eagle bind with the arms here, and if this is not possible, you can just grab for opposite elbows. I know we're going to kind of get all twisted to start class, but let's go ahead. We're going to lift that left foot off of the floor. Take a nice deep breath in. On the exhale, we're going to bring our elbows towards our knees, round up, eagle crunches, lower down, and lift. Squeeze everything in, lower, and lift. Nice job. Think about maybe even tapping that left toe down onto the ground. Again, option to grab for opposite shoulders here. Lift in and lower. Nice job. Squeeze and down, rise up and lower. 4, 3, last 2, and 1. Lift up and down. Let's unwind the arms, unwind the legs. This time the right foot's going to stay down on the ground, and that left leg is going to wrap up and over. The left arm is going to come underneath the right arm, and take whatever eagle bind you can on this side. Maybe it's opposite shoulders, or maybe you can get a full eagle grip. A little harder when you're laying down on your back. Take a nice deep breath in. On the exhale, you're going to bring your elbow towards the knee and relax down, rise back up and lower. Crunch the elbows towards each other and lower down. You got this. For 3, last 2, and 1. Hug it in and unwind. Nice job. Let's hug that right knee in. Extend that left leg out nice and long. Hover that left leg above the ground. Rise up. Really squeeze that right knee in towards the belly, and then release your hands, but keep that knee in nice and tight as if you're still holding it. For 3, last 2, and 1. Lay back down, hug both knees into the chest, extend that right leg out nice and long, hover it above the ground. Lift that chest and shoulders off the floor, gaze down at that navel, hug the left knee in nice and tight, and then just using your core, keep that knee in nice and tight. Lift up nice. For 3, 2, 1. Hug the knees into the chest. Take the hands behind the thighs. Start to rock and roll the length of your spine here. And we're going to come all the way into a tabletop position. So we're going to come up, plant the hands, step it back into our tabletop position. Hands are going to be a little wider than shoulder width distance wide. We're going to tuck the toes under, lift the hips up, and come into a downward facing dog. Let's pedal out the feet here, bending into one knee and then the other. Relax the head in between the biceps. Push that tailbone up nice and high. Feel the nice stretch in the back of the legs. Beautiful. Let's go ahead, bend the knees, gaze in between the hands. Now maybe you want to take a few steps. Maybe you're going to take one giant hop and come to a forward fold at the front of your mat. Relax the head, relax the jaw. Bring the feet about hip width distance wide. Maybe straightening into one knee and then the other, just getting nice and warmed up. And then let's go ahead, inhale, halfway lift, straighten the spine, raise the chest away from the floor. Exhale, forward fold. One more time. Inhale, pull the shoulder blades together. Exhale, forward fold. This time let's come through our whole sun salutation. Let's inhale, rise all the way up. Reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, find a back bend, cactus the arms. Shine that chest up towards the sky. Inhale back to center, and exhale, let's come all the way back down to the floor for our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, straighten the spine. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back into your plank position, and we're going to take our chaturanga flow. Bend the elbows, lower halfway or all the way down. Inhale into your upward facing dog or cobra. Cobra knees are planted, upward facing dog, thighs are lifted. Tuck the toes under, lift the hips up, and come into a downward facing dog. Let's take our feet and spread them about mat width distance wide. We're going to go for some taps for our hands to our toes. So we're going to take our left hand, tap that right calf, plant that left hand, and switch it out. Right hand, left calf, left hand, right calf, crossing over the body. One more time each side, and then we're going to hold. So we're going to take that left hand, grab for the outside of that right outer thigh, and maybe gaze underneath the armpit. Beautiful. Let's come back to center and switch it out. Right hand on the left thigh, gaze underneath that left armpit. Beautiful. And then let's go ahead and take that right hand, plant it down onto the floor. Bring your feet back to being hip width distance wide. Let's extend that right leg nice and high. Exhale, round the spine, bring the forehead to the knee. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, knee to forehead. Inhale to lengthen. This time, let's bring it in and hold here. Draw that knee in towards the belly, and then step that right foot through. We're going to plant that right leg down, or that left knee down on the ground. Rise up into our crescent moon. Push the hips down. On the exhale, we're going to straighten through that right leg and find half splits. We're going to rock through this a couple of times. Lift up. And on the exhale, round the spine, tuck the chin to the chest, rock through this one more time, straighten that front leg, and then rock it forward, lift the arms up. We're gonna take our right hand and bring it towards hamstring and reach the left arm up nice and high. This is a modified exalted warrior. Now we're gonna tuck the left toes under, lift that left knee off of the mat, and see if we can come into an exalted warrior from here. That right hand stays on that left hamstring. Nice bend in that right knee. We're getting into that left hip flexor. Let's take both arms up overhead. Find your crescent warrior. Bend into that front knee. We're going to take the left arm and wrap it underneath the right and find an eagle grip. So you really want to try to get that left elbow underneath the right. Start to hinge forward, and we're coming for full eagle. We're going to take that left leg, wrap it up and round that right leg, squeeze the inner thighs together. Back is nice and straight. Hug the elbows in towards the chest. Same thing here, option to grab for opposite shoulders. Sit the hips down nice and low. Squeeze that belly in nice and tight. Keeping the arms where they're at, we're gonna lift that left knee up to hip height. Start to kick it out nice and long behind us. And find a warrior 3 with eagle bind. For one nice deep breath in. And then bring your hands together in prayer in front of your heart. Beautiful. Take one more deep breath in, kick through that left heel, plant the hands down onto the ground, and we're gonna find a standing L shape here. So left leg is lifted nice and high, and what we're gonna do is a Shiva squat. We're gonna bend the knees, bring the left knee behind the right, and then extend that left leg nice and long. Again, bend both knees, hover it, lift it up, nice. Shiva squat, lift it up, beautiful. One more time. And lift up. You got it. Lower and lift. One more time. Lower it down. Lift it up. We're going to plant that foot all the way down to the back of the mat. Rise back up into your crescent lunge. And then open it up into a warrior 2. Front heel charge. Right hand is reaching forward. Left arm is reaching back. We're going to bend and straighten into that front leg. Sink it down and lift it back up. Keep those shoulders relaxed and keep pulling those shoulder blades together for 3. Last 2 and 1. Straighten through that right leg. Start to reach that right arm forward. Tick-tock the arms to 6 and 12 and find a triangle pose. Now from here, we're going to do some triangle crunches. We're going to lift up and lower back down. Rise up. We're getting into those love handles, our obliques, those muffin tops that hang out in the back. Lift up and down. That's what we're gearing into right here. Lower and lift. You got this. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. Lower all the way down. Lift back up, and let's come back into that triangle pose. Now hand can rest on that right shin if you'd like. We're going to start to bend into that right leg and plant the right fingertips about a front of that right foot. Start to lift off that back leg and come into half moon. Pull that left hip open. It's okay to keep the right fingertips down onto the floor. Reach that left arm up nice and high for 3. Last 2. We're coming back into that warrior 2. Plant the foot down. Reach the arms up. Reverse your warrior. Reach that right arm up and back. Keep a bend in that front knee. And then we're going to cartwheel the hands down onto the floor. Find a nice low lunge facing the front of the mat. The left hand is going to plant itself to the inside of that right foot. And the right arm is going to reach nice and high, coming in for a little lunge with a twist. Reach that right arm up nice and high. Really rotate with the torso here. Ground down in hand, and we're coming in for Vashisthasana, side plank. So step that right foot back to join the left, and we're gonna take some thread the needles. Bring that right arm underneath and lift it up, nice. Lower and lift. Bring it down and up. Last 3, beautiful, last 2. And then this last one, we're gonna hold our side plank. Now take that top leg, step it behind your bottom leg and lift the hips up. Take a little wild thing. Reach the hips up nice and high. And let's come back into our plank position, straight into our downward facing dog. Lift the hips up nice and high. Beautiful. Let's lift that left leg nice and high. Exhale, knee to nose, round the spine, hug it in. Inhale to lift. Exhale, crunch it in. One more time, we're gonna inhale, lift. This time we're gonna hold. Squeeze that knee in towards the chest, and then step that left foot through to join in between the hands. Drop the right knee down onto the mat. Untuck the right toes. Let's inhale into our crescent moon. Exhale into our half splits, and we're gonna rock it through this a couple of times. Hips down, reach up. Lower down, lift that left leg up, or that left foot, left toes, sorry. Sink the hips down one more time. We're gonna lower down, lift the left toes up, straighten that left leg, feel that nice stretch on that hamstring. Reach the arms up overhead. That left hand is coming for that right hamstring, and the right arm is gonna reach up nice and high, modified exalted warrior. Tuck the right toes under, lift the right knee off the mat, and come into your exalted warrior. Bend into that front knee. Nice deep breath in, and then crescent warrior. Both hands facing towards each other, both palms. Take that right arm, wrap it underneath the left, find your eagle bind. Start to hinge forward from the hips. Lift that right leg off of the mat, wrap it around that left leg, sink the hips down nice and low. Now it's okay if that your top leg doesn't have a full grip. It can still have a little kickstand here. You can still be grabbing for opposite shoulders. Nice job. Find the nice deep breath. Sink the hips down nice and low. Keeping the arms where they're at, we're going to take that right leg, kick it out nice and long behind us. Find that dristi, find that gaze, and then kick through that right heel. Bring the hands together in prayer in front of the heart. Find that warrior 3. Drive through that right heel. Exhale, bring the hands down to the ground, and we're coming for those Shiva squats. Bend the knees, lift it up. Bend the right knee behind the left, extend it nice and high. Lower and lift, you got it. For 3, last 2, and 1. Lift it up nice and high. We're gonna step that right foot all the way to the back of the mat. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge, and then open it up into our warrior 2. Bend into that front knee. Make sure that knee is stacked right on top of the ankle. Maybe it needs to be pulled to the left a little bit. Shoulders are relaxing away from the ears. We're gonna lengthen and bend. Straighten through that right leg and sink it down nice and low. You got it. Lower and lift. One more time, we're gonna straighten that left leg and find our Trikonasana triangle pose. Reach that left arm forward. Tick-tock the arms to 6 and 12 and find your triangle. And let's come into our triangle crunches. We're gonna lift up and lower. Reach the right fingertips up and down. You got it. Using our core here to shift our weight forwards and backwards. Rise up and lower. For 3, last 2, and 1. We're going to come all the way back into that triangle pose. Gaze down towards the floor. Bend into that left leg. Plant the left fingertips about a foot in front of that left toe, and open it up into your half moon. Find that dristi, drive through that right heel. Open up the body. For 3, last 2, and warrior 2. Plant that back foot down. Flip that front palm, reverse your warrior, reach that left arm up and back. And then exhale, cartwheel the hands down onto the floor. Find your low lunge. This time your right hand is gonna plant to the inside of your left foot, and that left arm is gonna reach up and high. We're gonna plant down into the right hand as we find our side plank. Step that left foot back to join the right, and let's take some thread the needle. Slide it under and lift. Rotate through the torso and rise up. Nice job. Lower and lift. For 3, Last 2, and 1. Lower down, lift it up. Take that top leg, step it behind your bottom leg, lift the hips up. Find a wild thing. And let's come all the way back into our plank position. Holding this plank here, we're gonna drop down onto the forearms and lift back up into our push-up position. Opposite elbow comes down next, and rise back up. Right elbow down, right hand drives me back up. Left elbow down, left hand drives me back up. One more time, each side lower, and lift. Bring it down, and up. Find that push-up position. We're gonna start to walk the hands and the feet together and find a malasana, yogi squat on our mat. Sit up nice and tall. Let the hips sink down, heels sink down. And when you're ready, we're gonna go ahead and drop our booty down onto the ground. Lift our legs up nice and high and find a boat pose. Now options here is to take your hands behind the back, keep your toes on the ground, lift up, or maybe you can lift your toes and lift your arms. We're gonna lift our right leg and lower, left and lower, lift. Nice job. Keep it going for 3, last 2, and 1. Now lower down, lift back up, lower and lift. Nice job. Low boat and high boat. Squeezing that core, lift up for 3, last 2, and 1. Let's come all the way down onto our back. Extend those legs out nice and long. Let's take a little full body stretch to take a little break here. And then hug the knees into the chest. And we are coming for a 1-leg bridge. So we're gonna extend that right leg nice and high, hands down by the sides. We're gonna lift and lower. Lift those hips up nice and high. Squeeze that booty for 3. Last 2. Hold this last one, lift it up, keep that leg lifted. We're gonna lower the leg and lift. Down and up, squeeze. You got it for 3. Last 2. And 1. Bring that right foot down. Lift that left leg up nice and high. Let's come into those 1-leg bridge. Lift up and down. Squeeze and lower for 3. Last 2. Keep those hips lifted. We're going to lower and lift. Down and up. Squeeze that booty. Keep that inner thighs drawing towards each other for 3. Last 2. And 1. Let's hug the knees into the chest. Give ourselves a nice little squeeze. We're going to keep that right knee in, extend that left leg out nice and long, hover it like we did earlier. Really squeeze that right knee in towards the chest, and then using just your core, take your fingers, interlace them behind the head. Bicycle hold. We're just going to squeeze that left elbow towards the right knee, lifting that left shoulder up, hug that right knee in towards the belly, lower the upper body down, bring the knees into the chest, hug that left knee in, extend that right leg out nice and long, really squeeze that knee in towards the chest here, interlace the hands behind the back, bring that left elbow towards that left, or that right elbow towards the left knee, and squeeze, hug it in, really bring that knee in towards the chest, and now we're going to switch it out, left and right. Nice job. Squeeze the belly in. Push that low back into the mat. Nice job. Beautiful. One more time. Each side. Then hug the knees into the chest. Give yourself a nice squeeze. Keep the shoulders and chest lifted off of the floor. We're going to extend and pull. Lift in and out. Nice job. Lengthen and pull. For 3. Last 2. We're going to hold it out here, lift up, squeeze the belly in. This is all you have left, so hold it here for 5. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's come up to a seat. The right leg is going to stay forward. We're going to sit that left leg back and come into a pigeon stretch here. Option to lower down or come into a sleepy pigeon, or keep the chest lifted, let the hips sink down. Awesome. Let's go ahead and switch it out. Extend that right leg out nice and long. Slide that left leg up. Try to take that left leg as parallel to the mat as it feels comfortable, but as you can see, my foot stays pretty close to my groin. That's just the flexibility that I have. Honor your body. Find those nice, deep breaths. Awesome. Let's go ahead, send that left leg back to join the right. Sit it all the way back into a child's pose. Relax the head down onto the floor. Make sure to stretch. Make sure to hydrate. You did a great job. I will see you next time.